And now it's time for Church Chat.
Greetings, friends, and welcome to this edition of Church Chat. I'm delighted you've joined us today, and I'm delighted to welcome Elizabeth Barlow as our guest. Elizabeth is our choir director and our organist, and it's just wonderful to see you, Elizabeth, even on screen. Of course, we've seen quite a lot more of each other these past weeks than we had for the first number of months in lockdown, because we've been able to resume our in-person worship, and that's been a source of great joy. If you've been at St. John's for worship at any point pre or post lockdown, you'll know that Elizabeth is a wonderful talent, not just as a choir director, but also as an organist. And I can feel her even virtually getting embarrassed as I'm saying this. Elizabeth, how are you doing? It's nice to have a chance to catch up.
It is, yes. I'm doing pretty well, thanks. All things considered, and not suffering very much from all this. I am a person who doesn't mind being at home, so that helps.
This is helpful. I've heard from some of my friends who are introverts. They've said, actually, this has been really quite lovely.
I feel guilty saying that, but it has crossed my mind that there are some aspects of it which suit me.
Well, I don't think you need to feel any guilt about that. Yeah. Meanwhile, those of us who are a little more extroverted are sort of climbing the walls, or
yes,
begging our neighbors to come over and talk to us on our steps or whatever at a good physical distance. But no, it's really it's been a strange time. I was just recently looking at some of our worship videos from the earliest days of the lockdown, and really it was only 8 months ago, but it seems kind of like a lifetime ago. There are so many things that have changed and shifted, and we always seem to be finding a series of new normals that are really not normal at all.
Yes.
You have blessed us throughout these months with your ministry to us, particularly in providing an opportunity for us to sing. And I know a number of people have messaged me and said that they loved having hymns included in the video worship, because they were singing right along. In fact, somebody sent me a message, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind my sharing this, saying that when it comes to the hymn in the video worship, she always stands up and sings. And I thought, well, that's bred in the bone Anglican stuff, right? You can take the Anglican out of church, but you can't take the church out of the Anglican, I think is the lesson there. We have shifted things a little bit with our online worship presentations. We're going to continue, I think, to provide some music on special occasions, on Sundays and other holy days throughout the year, but we've simplified the format, and I think that's a good thing. One of the challenges, of course, for us during this time is that even though we're able to gather again in church, and thank God for that, we're not able to sing.
Yeah.
And that's been a source of some sorrow, I know, and I'm sure you've heard that from some of our choir members and our parishioners.
Yes, I have, and it is a sad thing for people who have. I mean, there are some people in the choir who have been singing in church all their lives, and it's such a huge part of people's week, to have their choir rehearsal on the Sunday morning and to have that ministry be a part of their life. And I think it's been really difficult for people, and it's interesting that it has brought to light to me personally how much the singing actually means to people in a way that I wasn't really aware of before. Just what a huge part of, even for people who aren't necessarily singing in the choir, just members of the congregation. It really does mean a lot to people. So it's been challenging to go without that.
It certainly has. Yeah, I think it's so much a part of our identity as Christians, and as Anglican Christians, perhaps, particularly being a very musical people. I think it was St. Augustine of Hippo who said, the person who sings praise twice And I've always loved that saying. Some of our deepest moments of spiritual connection happen in the context of hymnody, of liturgical music. Of course, we have the Psalms as a fixture of our worship all the time, and the Psalms really are musical and have been since ancient days, pre-Christian days. That's so much a part of our identity. And of course, music. I once heard someone say, "Music is singing is the only ministry that we conduct on earth that will continue in heaven," and that's a wonderful image too, because there, you have the image of the heavenly chorus of the beatific vision of those gathered around the throne and the Lamb singing, "Holy, holy, holy." Anyway, I could go on, but I won't. We are finding ways to forge ahead. And to have opportunities to present some more music to people in the online space. And I'm really excited about an initiative that we've been planning for Advent, which is to present evensong broadcast, if you can put it that way, uploaded, whatever, to YouTube. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about our plans for that.
Yes, indeed. I'm looking forward to this. Last year, we had our series of O Antiphon evensongs, as people might remember, leading up to Christmas. 7 evensongs in the course of a week. And for many reasons, that's not really possible this year. So we've looked for other ways to draw attention to the season of Advent, which is such a beautiful season of the church year. And so what we will be doing is presenting online evensong each Sunday in Advent. And hopefully this will provide a nice opportunity for people to have a contemplative time of worship in the evenings. Of course, it being online, you can watch it whenever you want, I guess. That can be a benefit, I suppose. And yes, so we're working on plans to record these evensongs and have that be hopefully a nice ministry for people this year. And we'll have a little bit of plain chant, a little bit of organ music, very, very quiet and simple.
And Advent is that contemplative season. We are sort of called to that place of the contemplation of Christ's birth and Christ's coming again. And so often that feels crowded out by all of the holly jolly stuff that is happening around the holidays. Now, of course, there's some grief and some pain that comes with the fact that many of us won't be able to celebrate Christmas as we're accustomed to doing this year. But I wonder if people will be able to enter more fully into the meaning and mystery of the Advent season this year. Certainly that's my hope, and it's a great joy to be able to bring those worship experiences to everyone in the online space. Really looking forward to being joined by your fiance, Timothy, who is going to be helping us out, doing some singing. The people won't have to listen to me sing. It'll be Elizabeth and Timothy singing, and I'll just tag along. But it's a wonderful thing to have such talent from you and Timothy, and to have you so willingly sharing that with us, which is just wonderful.
Yes, I'm very grateful to Timothy for graciously agreeing to take part in this. He's in school and he's busy with lots of things, but he's quite keen on this project, and it enables us to have more than just one person singing. People will get tired of just listening to me all the time if it's left to that. So it'll be a nice change.
Well, I don't know about that. I think you're selling yourself short, but it's great. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you about is the fact that you've really been, well, anybody who's attended church at St. John's will know that you're not just a wonderful singer, but a very talented organist. And if I can say, I have so appreciated your preludes and postludes, and your music during the liturgy. Not just because we're unable to sing, but because you've really thoughtfully chosen pieces that I think incorporate some familiar melodies and tunes that people can really relate to. I wonder if you might want to talk a little bit about how you've been going about that.
Mhm. Well, I feel very lucky to be back in the church playing again. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do that, and because we have a little, there are more sort of spots for organ music in the service as it stands now. I've been trying to choose some selections that will sort of fill the gap left by not singing hymns. Pieces based on hymn tunes or pieces inspired by organ composers have often written pieces inspired by the text of Psalms and things like that. So tried to choose some things that will add some depth to the organ repertoire that I'm choosing, and hopefully explain in the music notes I've been writing occasionally how things connect to the season, or connect to some hymn texts that people might be familiar with, and that sort of thing.
Well, I was going to mention that as well, actually, that if you are getting the bulletin online or by email, if you're unable to attend church on Sundays, or if you are coming to church on Sunday, take a look for Elizabeth's music notes. They're toward the back of the bulletin, and they're really a delight. The history of church music is so deep and vast. And it's wonderful to have those insights. And I think this really provides us with an opportunity to really deeply listen. And perhaps that's part of what God is calling us to at this point in time, is to really be attentive.
Mm-hmm.
And to really enjoy those parts of our tradition that that we can celebrate at this time. And make the most of. Well, Elizabeth, thank you so much. Thank you for your wonderful ministry, for your steadfast support, particularly during this time, and for all that you do at St. John's. I know I join with everyone in saying that we appreciate you and we thank God for you and your many gifts that you so wonderfully share with us.
Oh, well, thank you. I could say the same about you and so many others at St. John's who have been so gracious and kind and patient during this challenging time. So I feel very lucky to be a part of that community.
Well, you're a blessing to us, and we look forward to the day when we can sing in full voice again, and may it come soon.
That will be quite a day.
Yes, it certainly will. You and I will have to think very carefully about the hymns that we choose for that day. All barn burners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth, and thank you everyone for tuning in. And until next time, we'll see you again. Bye-bye.